What's going on, COD fans? It's Monday, so it's time for a CDO recap to go over some of the things you might have missed or breaking down some of the things from this last week of Major 1 qualifiers. Real quick, we'll start off with my team of the week here on Twitter. As you can see, I got Vivid, Kleenex, Vickle, and Celium. You can also see the honorable mentions down here. Guys like Scrap, Simp, Envoy, Clay. All of those guys definitely could have been in this team. I think these four players made amazing plays to win maps for their team, win whole series for their team, and all four of these guys, their teams went 2-0 this weekend. So I think very well deserved. We also have our Major 1 bracket here. So as you can see, these are the matchups in winners round 1, and then the teams down in losers round 1. We're going to talk about this on the podcast episode, which should be out tomorrow, as well as I might make a separate video breaking down my pick'ems for this. So if you want to see that, make sure to sub to the channel. But let's start it off by talking about OpTic Texas. Obviously, OpTic, the fan favorite team, so no better way to start. They go 0-2 this weekend, losing both of their matches 3-0 to the Miami Heretics and Atlanta FaZe. Obviously, two of the more top teams in the league. If we look at the map or the matches versus Miami first, I mean, everyone kind of got fried in this one. Barely a 0.9 out of Shotzzy, which was the highest on the team. And then the other side of things, I mean, Metals played great. Vickle played great. Vickle had some insane plays this weekend, which is why he's on my team of the week. But nothing really got going for OpTic. I know Kenny tweeted out a picture of, they had ping issues during their FaZe series. Of course, ping issues, there's definitely, it's always going to be an issue, especially on online play. But they really kind of got fried. I mean, it wasn't necessarily close in some of these maps in these series. It really wasn't close versus Miami. At least the hard point was kind of close against FaZe. But overall, this OpTic team comes into Major 1 at 4-3, and they're going up against Miami once again in winners round 1, which is a bit of a scary matchup for them considering what just happened in their history versus the team from Florida. If I'm OpTic, though, I'm not panicking, right? You know how good this team can be. You're going on LAN where guys like Kenny are really, really good. Obviously, we've seen Pred be good on LAN, Dashy and Shotzzy be good on LAN, so I wouldn't panic if I'm OpTic. I think you're okay. You really want to see them obviously make Sunday and get top 4 at Major 1. And with a tough round 1 matchup, we're going to see just how far they can go. Next up, a team that surprises the world. It is the Minnesota Rokkr, who are now on a 3-game win streak. Started out 0-4 on the year and have now won 3 games in a row. I mean, if you look at their stats right now, it's nothing crazy. Lin's leading the way in terms of KD. Vivid Vivid having a pretty good bounce back week. He played really, really good this weekend. But the rest of the team, honestly, Awakening being the big disappointment so far, but he also bounced back pretty well this weekend. And this Minnesota Rokkr team, I mean, a 3-0 versus the LA Gorillas and a 3-2 versus the Seattle Surge. Both teams that I personally and a lot of other people predicted would beat Minnesota. So major shout out to Minnesota. I mean, they iced up to win that round 11. They won a round 10 here. A lot of good maps out of the Rokkr. Vivid in this first series played lights out. I believe in map 2, he had 15 and 8. He set the kill record in SND, which is absolutely insane. And then in the second series, I mean, you could see they got outslayed. Not by a lot outslayed, but definitely out KD'd, if that's what you want to call it. And we're still able to win it, which just goes to show you that if you ice up in the right scenarios, like in Control, like in SND, you don't need to necessarily outslay to win. Although, obviously, more kills is going to lead to more wins typically in a series. But was just super, super good out of these guys. Accuracy, 19k damage, really turned up for the squad when it mattered most. He is the Iceman for a reason. And Minnesota is a team that going into the Major has the subliners in round 1, which is a pretty tough matchup. And I mean, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what they can do at this Major, because I do think they're a team that could make some noise, but we will have to see what happens. Then another team that went 2-0, really finding their form after being 3-0'd by Boston Breach. They came back after this break, and they have looked phenomenal. I mean, Toronto Ultra right now look like probably the second best team, if I had to say, right now behind Atlanta FaZe. This team, everyone with a positive KD. I mean, Envoy the lowest at a 1.06. Kleenex and Scrap are 1 and 2 in Slayer rating, which is insane right now in the league. They're amazing at hardpoint with only 1 loss. Their SND needs a little bit of work, although they are 4-3, and then in Control, only 2 losses on High Rise. So maybe at the Major, you just ban out High Rise Control and you'll be fine. It's looking really, really good for Toronto, honestly. Scrappy playing like MVP Scrappy. Kleenex honestly should be in that conversation as well. And Insight, another guy who's really just, I mean, he's doing everything for the team. He obviously has a 1.14, but his hill time is really, really high in terms of, his objective play and stuff. He's just doing everything. Same thing with Envoy, also playing objective. Can't really say enough about this Toronto Ultra team. And then also the first team to ever be 7-0, because this is our first ever 7-match qualifiers. Atlanta FaZe, another team with everyone positive KDs. Simp, I believe, is like number 3 in Slayer rating, maybe number 4. So he's also playing really, really well. Celium with nearly a 1.3 after the 7 matches is insane and expected from MC. The guy is a monster. I mean, you can see they still only have 1 loss in Search and Destroy and then 2 losses in Control and Hardpoint. They really don't have a map they're weak on. Maybe High Rise a little bit. They haven't even played it. And actually, they don't play High Rise and Hardpoint, so I don't even know why I'm mentioning that. They really don't have a map that they're weak on. So this FaZe team looks poised to win the first major in Boston. They look incredible. And going up against LA Guerrillas is not necessarily a tough matchup. And then against OpTic or FaZe, both teams that obviously they can beat. So they probably are going to find themselves in winners finals, at least at Major 1. There's a lot more I could break down here. The Carolina Ravens, I mean, obviously they bring in Fellow. They have Tej. They look a bit better. They go to map 5 versus FaZe and LA Thieves. They end up losing both, but they able to take it to a map 5 versus both of these teams. My LA Thieves got the victory, which I'm super happy about. Showed a little bit of promise. Cammy finally had a really good series. We're just abysmal at hardpoint. So if the Thieves can get the hardpoint going, I definitely think we could be a solid team. I mean, look at this. 1 win in hardpoint. We're actually decent in Search and Destroy, and we're pretty good at controls. So definitely need to get hardpoint going. Stop playing Karachi, I guess. We're 0-5. But overall, yeah, there's a lot we could talk about here. We're going to talk about a lot on the podcast, so definitely look out for that tomorrow on Tuesday, as well as I'm probably going to make a video doing more breakdown on my pick'ems. So like I said earlier, sub to the channel for more CDL content. Thank you guys all for the support on recent videos. I'll be watch partying Major 1 as I have been doing watch parties the last couple weeks. So if you want to chat with me, watch COD. We usually have about 8 to 10 people in chat watching with me. So it's a super fun time, really fun to engage with you guys. And yeah, with all that being said, hopefully I'll see you all in the next video.